Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Bert the Stormtrooper and this is the home of That's Just Prime, the comprehensive Optimus Prime review series. I also review other Transformers, lots of G1 stuff, as well as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, GoBots, and pretty much any other toy that may jump out at me. If you're new to the channel, thanks for checking me out. Please be sure to click that subscribe button and don't forget to give me a thumbs up and share if you like what you see. Hello and welcome, I'm Bert the Stormtrooper, and today we're going to be doing something a little different and looking at something really fun from my childhood. This is the 1984 Tai Fong AM robotic radio, and I love this toy. And yes, like I said, I did have one of these as a kid. Now, this is not a licensed product, this is not a Transformer, and this is not a knockoff either. This is a completely new mold, and it's kind of a rarity and a mystery because there were so many of these device robots, things that looked like common household items like, radios and guns, I guess, and, stuff, microscopes that would transform into robots that all got turned into Transformers later. This is one that makes me wonder, how did this one not get grabbed up and licensed? Because it's right on par with those G1 Transformers, and in fact, maybe even a little better, as you're going to see here in a moment. Again, this came out in 1984. I remember I had one of these as a kid. We actually had two. My brother had one, I had one. As I've mentioned before, growing up in Puerto Rico, we had a lot of exposure to Japanese stuff, not just the animes that would get dubbed into Spanish over in South America and then brought over for Puerto Rican television, but we also got a lot of Japanese toys. So we would get a lot of Takara toys and a lot of these just kind of weird, rare, nowadays rare toys from Japan. This was one of them. So yes, I had one of these. My brother had one of these. And I'll put up a picture of the box. It had a very colorful box. You could just see the figure would come packaged in the radio mode, which is the way I have it here now. And then you would see some really cool artwork of the robot there right next to the radio itself. And it just said AM Robotic Radio. That was it. No name, nothing. He also came packaged with this axe, which I didn't get. I picked up this guy here loose for a relatively good price. That axe, I found a couple of them, and I gotta tell you, I'm probably gonna pay more for the axe than I paid for the toy itself. So I'm actually not terribly heartbroken, especially considering that there's nowhere for the axe to go when he is in radio mode. So I am okay with that. Now, taking a look at the figure in the radio mode itself, this is approximately 7 inches long, and it's about 3.5 inches tall right here at the top of the radio, 4.5 if you want to go up here to the top of the handle. And yeah, again, this is a very cool looking little and convincing little radio, right? If you see this, you think it's somebody's little AM radio. Just sitting back there. So now there was a couple of variations of this, not in color. They were all the same blue and gray color, but there were other variations. The one that I have here is the same one that I had as a kid, right? So there were other variations that had an antenna, and you can see right here the spot where the antenna would have been mounted. So sometimes you can find them with an antenna. And there also was a version that had a headphone jack, and that would have gone right here where those little red stickers at. In fact, if you feel, you can actually feel the hole underneath it where they would put the little jack mount there for the actual headpiece or the earpiece. So there's the three variations that I know of. And again, this is the one that I had as a kid. I got the same version that I had as a kid. So mine as a kid did not have the headphone jack, and mine as a kid did not have the antenna. So that's kind of the one I went with. I don't think it would make a difference if it had an antenna or not, because again, it's just an AM radio, and this is just not gonna pick up anything. Now, to show you how the radio works, this up here is the battery compartment. So this is just going to pop right off, and it takes 2 AA batteries. So pop those in and then slide this little piece right here. I do have a little bit of stress marks right there, so I need to be careful with that. And then around the back, we've got 2 knobs. We've got one for volume and one for tuning. And again, we're not going to pick up anything. I live in a relatively rural area, and also this doesn't have an antenna, and again, it's AM radio, so you're not going to pick up anything. But also I have the fluorescent lamps right up here in my monitors all around this, so all of this is going to do is just pick up static. But I'll turn it on so that you can hear it. You can Hopefully that's picking up on the mic. And I can turn the tuner and nothing is going to happen. It's not going to pick up anything. I did take it downstairs and I was able to pick up like one station, barely picked up one station. It was playing like country music. So I'm not going to play it here because I don't want to get my video demonetized. But there you go. Very cool little radio. In comparison with some other figures that did get turned into Transformers, here he is with G1 Blaster. And again, do remember that originally when this was Takara, before it got made into a Transformer, this was also a working AM radio. So, you know, it's, again, very cool that they would take these actual working household items slash robots and turn them into Transformers, and makes you wonder how this guy went under the radar. So there he is, next with Blaster, which, you know, comparatively size-wise, they compare very well. Here he is also with Soundwave, and there were, again, before he became a Transformer, there were versions of Soundwave that also worked. I believe that he was also just an AM radio. I do remember him having like a headphone jack and stuff like that. I don't know if they ever made like an AM FM version of any of these guys, but there you go. So that's what those guys look like together. Getting into transformation, of course, it's going to be simple because he is right on par with those old G1 Transformers. We're going to start right here at the bottom of the radio and just kind of pull this down. There's a little fin. This becomes kind of like a fin, and it does help to clip here in place and hold the leg together. So just bring this down and then rotate the bottom part of the leg out and around. Come down here and slide the toe out. Repeat on the other side. Rotate, rotate, and slide the toe out. And are we going to have enough room? Nope, we need to bring the camera up. All right, working on the top here, we're just going to take the arms and bring them straight down and then straighten out the fist. So bring the arms straight down, straighten out the fist. And then finally, we're going to take the handles and we're just going to rotate these around and bring them together to form the head. And there is our AM robotic radio in robot mode. Here in robot mode, robotic radio is approximately 8.5 inches tall. So again, it's a very, very good size, very comparable to somebody like Blaster, for example, which we'll see in just a moment. Bringing them in close. The only minus, I guess, that I would give this figure is the head. I think it's kind of cool the way that it transforms, and I do like the design of the face itself. I don't like these handles kind of just sticking up to the side here. I always found them so weird. It's a cool design though. It's really, again, it's so different from anything that Transformers ever did. Unfortunately, that's going to make it to where we don't have any head articulation. We can't really turn the head side to side because we're going to break it up in half, but you know, what are you going to do? Just kind of looking at all the details you got, you know, this is all sticker detail. You saw the tuning knob is on the back, but you do have a tuning band here in the front. It's just, again, it's just a sticker to kind of simulate what a radio would have looked like. A little tape deck, which again is also fake. That's like a little piece of cardboard, if I remember, or a little piece of like cardstock that's just printed to look like a tape right in there. This is a see-through window, and that then you got the little cardstock in there. Little stickers right here, AM radio. You got all the little red stripes on his shoulders, and you got little red details right here on the legs. Black with stripes with the red details again on the shins. And then you got the little AM radio sticker right there. The little red dot where the headphone jack would have been. And again, robotic radio. Just a little like clear sticker with some writing right there on the bottom. Yeah, looking really, really cool. Again, I really dig the design of this. I think he looks so good and right on par with some of those G1 figures. It really is a mystery to me how this guy didn't make it through. So articulation wise, as we saw, we don't have anything on the head. The shoulders can rotate forward and backwards all the way around. The arms can go in and out. He can bend at the elbow. He actually has a double bend at the elbow, but that's for transformation. And all he really gets is kind of like that gorilla pose kind of a thing. But, you know, it is posable. You can actually make him pose. You can make, you know, make him put his hands on his waist, you know, like he's being impatient kind of thing. So you can do it. He has wrist articulation. Check that out. And then nothing at the legs. The legs can only move in and out because of transformation. That's about it. Going all the way around so you can see him all the way around. There you go. And again, he still works as a radio. Perfectly fine in robot mode. If you were able to pick anything up, which we're not going to pick up any AM stations here where I live, Anyway, but there you go. Yeah, very, very cool. And again, if you had the axe, you've got 2 holes, 1 on each fist, and you can just put the axe in his hand. Again, I'm not too broken up about the not having the axe, because again, it's going to cost me just as much, if not more, than I paid for this robot to get that axe. And then whenever I have him in radio mode, there's nowhere to put him. So I don't know. I might get the axe later on, just because I'm kind of OCD. But for now, I'm not terribly broken up about it. For comparison, here he is next to G1 Blaster, so you can see how they compare together. And again, you see he's almost as tall as Blaster at 8.5 inches. You know, he's on the large side of what these toys were back in the day. So again, very comparable and very good. I haven't really talked about it, but the quality of the plastic on this is really good quality plastic. I remember, again, as a kid, this was a good, solid toy that actually worked as a radio back when we actually could listen to music on AM radio. So one more comparison. Here he is with Soundwave, and of course he is going to dwarf Soundwave, so he's definitely going to kick his butt. Very, very cool. Yeah, again, this is just such a cool oddity or a rarity for me. This is, again, it's just really cool to have this again in my collection, because it is a figure that I had back when I was a kid, and I just think it's really, really cool to be able to put it back in my collection. I'll put these guys back here just for fun, because it looks cool having 3 robot radios. And I think that about covers the 1984 Tai Fong AM robotic radio. What did you think of this toy? Let me know down in the comments. Give me some thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you're notified when I upload a new video. I've got a donate button up there if you want to hit on that. I certainly would appreciate it. Please share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time.